This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Attention listeners, are you ready to be blown away? You asked for it and they listened. Our friends at Manscaped just relaunched the Ultra Smooth Package. It's back, baby. Your new favorite tool and complement to the Lawnmower 4.0 to keep your boys smooth while looking and feeling their best. This specialized groin shaving kit is here to help you buff, protect, and shave your most sensitive areas. It's time to crop that bush of yours and get right to the roots with a discount just for you from Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code CUPodcast.
The legends who introduced the electric ball hair trimmer are bringing back their razor so you can be set and trimmed front to back. Men, you no longer have to borrow your lady's razor for that precise trim. Here's how it goes. Step 1, grab your handy Lawnmower 4.0 and give your boys the classic trim to remove the loose hairs, and then take out the Manscaped Ultra Smooth Package to make your package the perfect package this summer. Step 2, crop exfoliator. Infused with ingredients that can soothe, clear, and keep the skin on and around your groin feeling refreshed, the crop exfoliator can help reduce the risk of ingrown hairs in your delicate places. Step 3, crop gel. See where you're shaving with our unique clear shaving gel just for the groin. With 4 essential oils, it's like a spa treatment every time you shave. Step 4, it's time to shave. The crop shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. 3 precision blades include extra wide lubricating strips and a pivoting head for the ultimate groin grooming experience. It's time to get up close and personal with the best tools for the job, the Ultra Smooth Package from Manscaped.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CUPodcast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CUPodcast at manscaped.com. Smooth out your fellas with this relaunched Ultra Smooth Package from the fellas at Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. All right, Ian, we got some voicemails, don't we?
Yeah, we do. This is your routine, man.
Your routine, go to anchor.fm/CUPodcast. You go, leave a voice message. 22 seconds is the
ideal, the platonic ideal.
That's the platonic ideal. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Leave a voice message for us and hopefully play it like this one.
Hey, Pat and Ian. It's Ian from Texas. Question for both of you. So due to some life changes, I need to get rid of the majority of my game collection. Been collecting for about 20 years, pretty sizable at this point, but wanted to know from a financial perspective, do you think it would make more sense to try to get a booth at an upcoming local game convention or go the online route, eBay and so on? Thanks.
If you have the option, I believe a convention is an awesome way to do it.
Yes, I do too. And here's why, and people are going to be mad at me for it, but you can charge the going rate at a convention. People expect to see a going rate, and you'd probably end up being cheaper than a lot of people there. Plus, it's a captive audience. I mean, everyone's looking for games.
Plus, it's cash, a lot of the sales.
Oh, yeah.
Cash is king for a lot of reasons. Wink! Here's the other reason why. Your time is money. And I've learned that more and more as I've gotten older. Where, oh my God, I have $1,000 game or a $500 game. Put it on, put it on eBay. You get the most amount of money. After the eBay fees, PayPal fees, and taxes you're going to pay, you'll probably end up around 70% of what you get. Right. 70%, give or take. I like to use 70%. So when you look at it that way, even giving someone a cash discount is worth it.
Yes.
It is, because your time is there on top of that. But at a convention, you can do so much bulk selling. I just went to SoCal. Ian saw me. I brought a bunch of box consoles with me. I only brought 15. I sold about 12 or 13 there. That I got cash from. I probably didn't get the full amount maybe I could have gotten. Looking back, I could have charged a little bit more. But they're out of my hair. And the amount of time to put them all, list them, take pictures, do the listing. Hopefully don't get like someone saying, oh, I bid by accident. Let me put it back up. Package them, box them, print postage, mail them out. You got I wouldn't do that. I still have the consoles in my house still. On top of that, though, when you go to convention, what's at convention? Other vendors that you can talk to.
Yep.
You can say, hey, listen, I got a bunch of stuff here. You want to take it after Sunday? I can give you a deal on it, or here's a card in the future, because we go to vendors, a lot of them are local. There's a lot of opportunities for selling out a convention. This could almost be a full topic that I'm thinking of now, that's probably be like your first line of attack. You also got to put time into pricing things out, but you got to do that kind of anyway when you're trying to sell modern games nowadays. A lot of people don't do like dollar auctions anymore and let them go.
Right.
I would highly recommend that for stuff, and you'll sell probably more than you think, depending on how you price it.
Hey Hey, Pat and Ian. This
Hi.
is Zach from Atlanta, Georgia. First-time caller. Love you guys.
Georgia.
A couple episodes ago, you were discussing a found prototype, I believe, from like Hidden Palace. And I wanted to ask y'all, in terms of game preservation, what do you think about essentially pulling a game out of the garbage that the developers, the artists that worked on it said, no, we hate this, we don't want it to see the light of day?
This is something I've actually thought about and struggled with. And I think there's not going to be a right answer that pleases everyone about it's the balance of the rights of the original artist versus the community or culture. But if you ask me personally, stuff that I've written or done, if someone should have access to the first draft of things, let's just say Ian, I become president. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Sure.
Should someone have the first draft of things that I wrote or like first drafts of videos? Like, no, if I don't want people to see them, I want people to see them. But a lot of these games are collective works. It's a little bit different.
Right.
So I think you have to weigh that. I'm trying to think of a time when a prototype got released where someone said, I don't want you to release that because I'm not either proud of that or I never meant for anyone to see that. There might be people that have thought about that, but maybe they don't care because it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's a game. But I don't think it's 100% everything should be seen by the community.
Here's what I would say. I think if you say, yes, it's okay, then I think the next step to make that right and okay is you can preserve without publishing.
Sure.
You can preserve without publishing and say that person in 30 years decides they wish they could go back to it and they have access to it now. That's one thing. But at the same point, so my thought on it would be if it's a canceled game, publishers working on it, canceled game, clearly a group product.
It's finished.
Or close to finishing. I have no problem with digging through bins, and preserving these canceled games, especially if they've been announced or they've been said they were in the works, because people are always going to ask about them. I do think there is a place, though, where, we're preserving art. We're trying to preserve art. We're trying to preserve games, achievements. If that person never officially, if it was a solo work and the person never officially released it, maybe they could be looking at it and being like, you know what, this isn't sending the message I want it to send, and they scrap it.
Or maybe it's not for people's eyes to look at. This comes up more with writers.
Yeah.
They find like old manuscripts of writers, like Salinger, and it's like, oh, here's the stuff he was writing. And I'm like, if I'm a writer, like there's a reason I didn't have that published. There's a reason I never got that published. I wasn't proud of it, or I didn't like it, or I never meant for people to see it. And now you're having everyone look at my unfinished shit that, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough.
No, it's an interesting question.
It's like if you're in that position, it's almost like, wow, people want to see all the old shit I worked on. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
now that we're talking about this, though, I'm thinking, how often is that likely going to come up, though, in this day and age? I think most of these things that we're finding are going to be group works that were probably started and scrapped by a corporate company. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but it's not like we're dealing every day with deeply personal games getting found that were made by one or two people in their bedroom. It's worthy of thinking about, but I don't think it's actually going to be a problem that we're going to experience a ton.
But the more you go back in time, the smaller the teams get. You go back to the 80s, it's a few people. If you're a Atari game, it's one person. You know what I mean? Like, I can see people's being weirded out by it.
This is one that I can see both sides of truly, and I would probably need to think about it a lot
this
more
could be a full topic.
until I really settled on an answer.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just going to come down to maybe like individual cases.
Individual cases and how that preservation is done.
Sure.
Pat, Ian, this is Matt from Rochester, New York, yet again. Ian, back me up on this. Have you told Pat how great a store Wegmans is? I know you shopped there as a kid, and when you go back home, Pat, when you go back East Coast, there's 9 locations in Jersey.
You really
Mount Laurel, Cherry Hill, Ocean.
No, that's not Jersey anymore. That's Pennsylvania. Once you start to say Cherry Hill, literally across from Philly, no one considers that Jersey. They root for the if you root for the Eagles, you're not Jersey anymore. That's my rule.
Fair enough.
Princeton, Montvale, and another location I forget. But come on, man, you got to shop there sometime. See ya.
It's a magical grocery store.
Princeton is like my imaginary cutoff for Jersey. Once you get below Jersey, the cable stations start showing you Eagles. It's not Jersey anymore. That's just my opinion.
The one thing I'll say about Wegmans
is this is a supermarket, right?
Supermarket. Okay. It's a very comfortable supermarket to shop in.
It's comfortable.
No, well, whereas most supermarkets are pretty bright and in your like bright lighting, like fluorescent lighting and stuff. Wegmans is kind of like darker and more comfortable to walk through, yellow, darker colors, softer lighting.
I've been in supermarkets like that.
Yes.
I see it.
When Wegmans,
like Browns and
Wegmans isn't as important now as it was then, but Wegmans was one of the first places to get like fresh food being prepared in there. It was one of the first places in Buffalo you could go get sushi.
Really?
They had
sushi at the bar?
Chefs making sushi, like making sushi right there.
Okay. Right.
It's a neat grocery store.
I got the Halloween cookies that I used in the video that were 3-4 years old in my Halloween video.
That wasn't Wegmans.
That was Wegmans?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe it was.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. This is Juice from Winnipeg, Manitoba here in Canada. Like many people, I love my Nintendo Switch. I actually own a couple of them here at home. It got me thinking about a Switch successor since Nintendo has stated they're kind of in the latter half of the Switch life cycle. What do you think their method to the successor is going to be? Do you think they'll go full on Switch 2, for lack of a better term, with backwards compatibility, just sort of hit the reset button and go try to get people to buy a successor? Or do you think they'll go the iPhone method, like a lot of people have started to suggest? Maybe just incremental upgrades to their future releases. Everything kind of stays the same at the base, but you see some slight upgrades here and there, kind of like the Switch OLED, but then they kind of start building upon that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer to like the DS, 3DS.
Yes.
It's going to be like, there's no reason to like piss off, the 100 million people that have this console. So you're going to do incremental. You're going to ease people out of it over years.
Yeah, for a while there, they were really doing like a thing where like they were just making it very different each time.
Yeah. It's going to be a more powerful handheld. We're talking about 7-year-old technology at this point that's in that Switch. Like, it's like they got it lined up. They're going to wait until the sales go down. They have it ready. I can guarantee. Like, what's the expression when you do a product, you already have a prototype for a new one. Like you already have it ready,
right?
Or designed, you already have it. So it's just like, we're gonna get the faster chip. Like, and I don't think to a lot of people it's probably not even that long in the tooth to switch yet. 5 years in, is it 6 years? 5 years in, or 5 years in.
I mean, I'm starting to see its age.
You're starting to see it?
Yeah. And I love my Switch. To answer quickly, I think Nintendo would be smart to, at this point, and I think they will, just do the PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5 thing. They found something that works. They found a form factor that works.
But have backwards compatibility in each one.
You don't need to be fucking screwy with the next thing. You don't need to try to reinvent the wheel. You nailed it.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you're never going to see a standalone again. Like the hybrid platform is, they got it. They figured it out. Sony couldn't. They figured it out.
Hey Pat and Ian, it's Daniel Lamco64 on Twitter. Just a quick question for both of you guys. Well, two questions in fact. First question being, is there a game, an older game that you never played back in the day that was recommended to you way years later on that you went back to and either enjoyed or didn't enjoy, that you can think of that pops into your mind? My one being Super Metroid. Never played it back in the day. Almost bought it for one birthday, but then decided to buy something else instead. But I've played it since and I love it. And the second question is for Ian. What makes a really good chili, and how do I go about doing that?
Speaking of chili. He asked you that.
No, I know, but what do you mean, speaking of chili? Did we talk about chili recently?
You still owe me chili from the fall.
Oh, I still owe you chili, yeah. What makes a really good chili? Slow cooking the meat and adding lots and lots. I think you develop the flavor with more mild, dried peppers.
Okay.
And then you move into some hotter peppers. So you want a lot of pepper flavor in there, but you don't want all the heat. So you kind of adjust that. Other than that, though, I don't really know. I make good chili, but talk to someone from Texas.
Okay. And then an older game that you never played that you did later.
You do that. I got to think for a second.
I've actually never played through Super Metroid. I'm kind of ashamed of that. I never was a huge NES Metroid person, so I never got into Metroid that much. I probably should play Super Metroid at some point and get into it.
And honestly, Super Metroid is one of those for me because I did it a couple of years ago and I never played it when I was growing up.
This is one you did play later that you at the time put off. So I'm trying to think of one that I like. What's one that I put off at the time and then came back to? I gotta get back to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, that might be a future
That's tough.
question.
But I would, let's bookmark that. That's a good question, I think.
That's not bad. I'm going to put a little star next. I'll put a little asterisk, Lamco. Thank you for that. I'll do a few more here.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. This is John from Louisville, Kentucky. And I would just had a quick question. Just wonder what you thought the official appetizer of the CU podcast would be. Personally, my vote would be at my man. All right. Love you guys.
Oh, out of my man. That's great.
Do I have a boo on this? I don't have a boo button.
I liked it. I would vote jalapeno poppers. Pat would probably vote nachos. I'd accept nachos.
I don't dislike jalapeno poppers, Ian.
I know.
It's just that I don't ever get them a lot. Some restaurants don't have them. Now my mouth's watering. I mean, passing.
Love them. Love a jalapeno
Cream
popper.
cheese or cheddar?
I will take either, and it is one of the only things I think
with cream cheese
is acceptable to dip in ranch dressing.
Oh,
I talk about how much I dislike ranch dressing. Ranch dressing was made for jalapeno poppers and jalapeno poppers only.
Now you lost me. I want nothing with ranch dressing.
That's fair.
Nothing.
That's fair.
Ninjas! Mike from Chicagoland here. Playdates are finally shipping, and we hope the community will start developing games for the system. So what games would you guys develop? Pork Roll Panic? Harry Ferguson and the Luna Freeman? Can't wait to hear some of your ideas. Game on, guys.
I don't know that I really want to talk about the one idea that we both had independently.
No. We don't want to do that. The same one? You had your own idea. That was different.
No, I told you we had the same idea independently.
God, I don't remember. Not my idea. It's another one?
No, that idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Huh.
I like a version of Tapper where you use the crank to like fill the drinks.
That'd be interesting. I'm going to be real basic here because I don't know if there's one yet. I haven't looked at the games. I want a fucking fishing game on the Playdate. And if there is not one,
okay,
I would make that.
That makes the most sense.
Yes.
It's surprising that's not in the first season of games, is there?
I don't know. I haven't bothered looking. But I'm just saying, if it's not there, that's what I would make.
Yes, that's a natural motion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's as natural as it can be. Let's see. Who's this person?
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. It's Voxandra from New Jersey. I know it's been a while since I last called in, so I figured it was time to give an update. Not that I have any big news here to report, although there was some big news here in Jersey with weed being legal and sold here now, which does actually catch my interest. Not that I have much experience with the stuff. My experiences are having huge coughing fits since I handle smoking worse than I handle existential dread, which is ironic seeing as that's the reason I'm trying to get high in the first place. Ian, do you have any suggestions of an edible stuff and what to do with that? Anyway, that ain't why I'm calling. Ian, dude, what is up with old pinball games being total garbage? Now, Rock and Ball on the NES is the real GOAT with the head-to-head pinball combat, which rules. But the rest of the crap you see on NES and SNES is some Amiga port that looks uglier than me back in high school. And for the record, that ain't self-deprecation, because I turned out pretty damn well if I do say so myself. And I'd rather be that than the reverse like my ex, which let me tell you something.
I'm exhausted.
I knew the cutoff was coming.
I'm exhausted.
I mean, I feel like that's her point. Yeah, the old pinball games are not very good. They have pretty poor physics. I still like them though, in a lot of ways. I like Rock. I mean, for what they are,
Rock and Ball's amazing.
Rock and Ball is so much fun, especially when you play it 2-player. And while I don't like a lot of the NES pinball games, I really don't like the version of Pinbot on there. High speed's not great. They add weird shit. I
always forget high speeds in NES game. I always forget that's like an NES game.
I do really like
uncommon game.
I do really like playing the Game Boy pinball games. And as far as marijuana, start at 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligrams on your edibles, and wait at least an hour and a half before you adjust your dose.
I'll do a couple more here.
Hey, listen, Mike Kennedy here. Hey, Ian, I got a bone to pick with you. This apology that you're talking about that came from me, I poured my heart and soul into that thing. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Damn drunken podcasters just can't leave the Calico chameleon alone to die, can you? Always got to keep bringing it up. Damn drunken pothead podcasters.
That's enough. Okay.
Mike Kennedy never gave me an apology. I think this person is referring to, one of the... I've only mentioned him like once, Zadok Payet, but I think that's what he's referring to.
No, I think he's doing a Mike Kennedy. Once you start repeating the same joke,
thing,
you got to write these out.
Get it down on paper.
Get it down on paper. Talk yourself through it. See how it goes. It's a lot tougher than it looks.
Contact Voxandra and ask how she does it, because that's obviously there's no stumbling
on the nose.
Yes,
it's almost like it's like pre-recorded, edited. I'm not saying it is. You want to do one more, or you want to check in with someone?
Let's check in with someone.
Check in with someone here.
Hey guys, Tommy here, just trying out my new Holoride from Hans. It's actually pretty sweet, the hell was that? Anyway, Miyamoto-san put in Super Mario Kart, so it's really cool because, like, one of my favorite things to do is when I'm, like, one of the bigger characters, like Bowser, I like to smash into the small ones. This would be cool to try. Well, yeah, I felt that one. I totally felt that one. This is awesome. I mean, I always wanted to have a VR version of Mario Kart. I finally have it, thanks to Hans and his genius. Whoa. Oh, they got cops in the game now. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, I'm moving with the flow of traffic, guys. The donut shops are back that way, man. Here we go, ride or die.
Oh, Tommy.
Oh, Thomas.
Well, I guess you got another way to play the Ferrari game.
Yeah.
There's another way to do that. Oh God, that's good. So good.